let's make scallops. Everybody's terrified to make scallops, which is silly. And I was terrified too. They're so easy, I can't even tell you. However, there's one very important thing about scallops that you should know. Most supermarkets will inject them with water, okay? So they look bigger and they stay fresher longer. And they will be impossible to sear because they're filled with water. So what you want to look for is something called dry scallops. Now they will lie about this also, not your fishmonger, who of course you've tipped because you always tip your fishmonger. Ask for dry scallops, okay? And what that means is that they haven't been injected with water, which they do, they literally do this, okay? I'm not speaking of the teeny scallops, that's another recipe. We're talking about, I think they're called bay scallops. These are dry. But to make them drier, which is how you get the sear on them, because remember, wet food doesn't sear. Everything from chicken to scallops to anything. If it's wet, it's not gonna sear. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take them out of the plastic bag or whatever, and you're gonna physically dry them with a paper towel. And then you're going to set them on preferably a quarter sheet pan, but I don't have one, on parchment paper, open in the refrigerator for them to dry further. For an hour is great. If you can't do the fridge thing, just dry them really carefully with paper towels. If you have a lot of kitchen rags, you can use a kitchen rag. The point is, it has to be dry. It cannot have wetness on it. I mean, it depends on who the people are. If you got people who like to eat a lot of food, you need more. But I would say if it's an app with other apps, it's really 2 to 3 scallops per person. So you want to put these in the fridge uncovered, if you can. Let's see if we can find a spot. There you go. Goodbye, scallops. So here are your scallops that have been drying in the refrigerator. You're just gonna pat them dry again, okay? You're gonna season them just with salt and pepper, okay? So you're just gonna go like this. When I did this recipe I went to a cooking class with Mike, with David Waltuck, who used to run Chanterelle. It's a great restaurant. And he cooked everything in duck fat, like literally this much duck fat. So bizarre. So I came back and I wanted to try and make the recipe in the country. And I went out to make them into the grill, and it was a gale force wind and rain. So the pan refused to get hot, so I couldn't sear them. So you've seasoned them, and we are now going to take them to the stove and cook them. If you guys watched Kitchen Equipment, we talked about carbon steel. This is a carbon steel pan whose name is Conrad. He's a good friend. Now what I did is I put some non-olive oil. Grapeseed oil is a good one, ground nut oil. You're waiting for the oil to shimmer and sheet, okay, on the pan. Basically your test is, does it make a loud noise? Makes a loud noise, but it should be a little bit louder. Okay, I'm gonna go with that. I'm mopping up the extra. You wanna put them in order so that you turn them in order, okay? So you wanna put them in sort of a clockwise pattern. Okay, the inner. Now here's a fish thing and a scallop thing. The mistake that people make is that they mess with it, they fuss with it and touch it and move it, okay? Don't do anything with it. Just leave it in the pan. It's searing, okay? And the more you move it, the less of a sear it's gonna get. If you look at the side of the scallop, you can see slowly an opaque color coming up the end, coming up from the bottom. That's the scallop cooking, okay? So all we're gonna do is make it so that the two white parts after we flip it almost touch. I'm just gonna lift one very slightly, and if it moves easily, which it did, you see how it lifted easily? It's not stuck, okay? Getting a nice sear. Okay, the opaque line is moving up the side. That's not ready. That one's ready. I'm gonna turn it. It has a nice, beautiful brown. This one moved easily, turning it. Nice, beautiful brown. I did it out of order because the pan wasn't evenly hot. This one moved easily. Nice, beautiful brown. And now basically, it's like 2 minutes more on this side. First of all, everybody's impressed at the cocktail party, okay? After you flip them, you can put in a little bit of butter. It's gonna go berserk. And the butter is gonna give you a different, an even better kind of brown. It will tell you when it's time. Look, see? It moved perfectly. I didn't have to do anything. Up, perfect. Perfect. That one's still stuck, so I'm not messing with it, okay? These are, in my opinion, I'm gonna take these off. See how there's a pink, faint pink line in the center? That's what you want, because it continues cooking. Okay, now you're gonna make a very quick sauce. First of all, you're gonna push Conrad off the heat. You're gonna take shallots, cut up shallots, which I don't have to show you how to do at this point. Okay, you're gonna throw in a little white wine after these caramelize a little bit. And this is called deglazing. Okay, we're gonna let that cook down. I'm gonna squeeze a lemon into it. All right, and now it can go back on the heat. A little bit more butter. So now you're just waiting for it to reduce, turning up the heat. Now, when I do this, my guests are usually here or in the other room. They've already had some appetizers. It's almost like a first course served at cocktails. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, but not too much because there's pepper on there. Now you see how I made a sauce using the essence of the thing we're making. I made the most scallopy sauce possible. Here's the fanciest part of the whole thing. I'm gonna sieve this. Okay. Here's your sauce. You're gonna taste it again. It's delicious. And you're just gonna gently sauce this. Yes, I know the scallops are great this year. Yeah, oh, it's so easy to make. Try not to sound crazy, but yeah. And you're just gonna do like that. Just squeeze a little lemon on it. And then I'm gonna serve it with a cut lemon like that. And then you just come out and say, scallop anyone? I'd gallop for a scallop. Does it make a loud noise? Makes a loud noise, but it should be a little bit louder.